It's the last of the solstice series today. Woohoo! I have absolutely loved. I love how my phone keeps telling me that I haven't turned it off right at the beginning of the live. Thank you. Oh, now my AirPods come out. Live TV. Here we go. On the other one. Right. Are we tuned in? Yes, I think we are. Not. Oh, what a graceful beginning. Okay. What was I saying? It's the last of the solstice series. And I'm not like really happy, like, oh, it's the last of the solstice series, but I'm really happy because I've really enjoyed going live with you 4 times over the last 2 weeks. And I'm really excited. I don't think I've got my AirPods in the right. No, they are on the right ears. Okay. Right ears, you know, left, right kind of thing. That's what I mean. Stay. Right. Because I've just loved going live with you. I really, really, really have. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rowena, and thank you, Julia, and thank you, everybody who has been attending live, because then I don't feel like I'm speaking to myself. And the more that you ask questions, the more value you get, and so does everybody on the replay. And those of you on the replays as well, I hope you found this valuable. I've enjoyed this so much. It's been a little trial run, really. And it's just a no-brainer, actually. I mean, I don't know why I haven't been going live a lot more for you guys, because I used to work on live TV. It's not like I'm shy of the live, and this is my group, right? So why am I not showing up for you? So I've cleared that by this little trial, and I've loved being so much, you know, back in the saddle with you guys, that I am going to be going live once a week, if not more, maybe twice sometimes. We'll see how it goes. I've put a poll up in the group, so I want to hear from you. I want to know what is keeping you awake at night. What is it that you really desperately want to solve in your life? And as long as it's nothing to do with mechanics in the car, for instance, you know, and it's in my remit, which is relationships, purpose, passion, intuition, all things psychic, communication, blended families, codependence, basically inner transformation. How do you make the transformation in your life so that your life actually changes? That's what happens when you do the work, and this type of work that I do. That's what my clients say time and time and time again. They've had at least one transformation. They've changed deeply inside of themselves, and so their relationships, but quite often what people say is, like I was just on with a client this morning, and she said, people are just like looking at me like, what's happened to me? Like, who are you? It's quite funny. And that happens a lot, because when you've done the inner change, you're not in that game with them anymore. And then it's like your energy is freed up. There's no more drama, chaos, or confusion. And boom, you can really start to live the life that you wanted to live when you first started the spiritual path. But maybe what's happened instead is chaos and drama and exhaustion. So that's what I do. I help you tune back into yourself. As an intuitive, you're likely to have been tuned into actually everything else but yourself, believe it or not. I know you're there probably thinking, but I journal and I do this and I do that. That is great, and that can help. But what about the fundamental foundations that I find are often missing for intuitives in the spiritual world? So, and if you haven't got those in place, then you'll know, because your relationships will be off track somehow. You'll recognize it from feeling upset, emotionally exhausted, going around in circles, all of those things. So anything I can help you with, just put it in the poll. Even if the option's not up there, just put in the poll what it is that you want. So you can add options to the poll, and then other people can vote for that as well. Okay, sound is a bit muffled. Is it? Oh no. I don't know what to do there because this is brand new. Let me see. Okay, does that help? Is that better? I just pressed an invisible button. Let me know if that's any better, if you can hear me. Okay, so what we're going to do today, and just let me know, yeah? What we're going to do today is how to see your soul through astrology and tarot. Fantastic. Thank you, Kathleen. Kathy says she can hear fine, maybe just because I've just pressed this invisible button on the side of my new AirPods. So yeah, we're going to do astrology and tarot. Thank you, Rowena. I'm here too. Good. So I'm going to do a screen share and show you how you can see your soul by combining tarot with your birth map, your birth chart. Now, if you're there and you're like, I don't even have a tarot deck, I don't have my birth chart, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you some really quick, easy workarounds. I'm not going to lie, the more that you are able, the more that you know around tarot or astrology, the easier you're going to find this exercise for sure. But I'm also going to be speaking to those of you that are maybe beginners and showing you ways to fast track quite a lot. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna share screen. I hope you can hear okay now, Linda. Seems like everyone's saying it's fine, so thank you for letting me know. Someone's angry. Oh dear, what have I done? I'm sure it's just a thumb slip. Okay, all right. So here we go. Hopefully you can see this. Let me just pop back to see that it is. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to take you through this class now. And then I'll come back and answer your comments. So ask away. And remember to be clear in what you're asking, because when I come back, if you've referred to anything as this or that, I won't have a clue what you're speaking about. So omit the words this or that and be very clear about what you're speaking about, because I won't see it in real time. I'll only see it coming back, so I won't have the context, okay? So what you want is your birth chart, which is this thing here. I've now got the blue line around. If you don't have this, there are plenty of ways you can get this for free on the net. You just want to put in free birth chart or free natal chart, okay? I have put this way because it's the easiest way for me to show you is by using my Canva desktop. And it doesn't have to be this way. If you've got it on paper, just put it out in front of you. Like I said, if you know tarot and astrology, the more you know about it, the easier you're going to find this. But it's probably likely that most of you here don't know what card represents what planet in what sign in astrology. So there's an easy workaround. Rather than thinking that you have to learn astrology as well as tarot, what you can do is get a tarot deck that has the astrological assignments on them. And I'll show you what I mean about that when we go through this. But Chira Machetti's Tarot of Dreams is the one that I'm going to be using today, and I love it because it does have the astrology associations. When you have your birth chart, I live in Bath, you see. When you have your birth chart, you will have, like, if you went to, I think probably Cafe Astrology is the best one for explanations if you're new. All these signs will be explained, okay? All right, I don't think I can get this much bigger, but let's see if I can get it a little bit bigger for you. I don't know if 100% is too big. No, that's okay. Okay, so there we go. All these symbols here will be explained underneath your chart if you go to Cafe Astrology and get your chart done. So you'll end up with something like this, either printed or you might put it in Canva or something else, yes, on the computer. And if you've got a deck that has the symbols on them, then you can pretty much work it out, okay? There are a few you won't be able to work out, like this one here with the K and the world on the bottom. The circle on the bottom is the world, and the K stands for Chiron, or the key to healing, because he is the wounded healer. So this is Chiron. You won't be able to work out that one because Chiron is a newer, well, it's not even really a planet. It's more, I think, an asteroid, or so it's not actually assigned a tarot card. This is where you would actually be able to do it much more easy if you knew about astrology and tarot. So for instance, my Chiron is in Taurus, which means that I would then think about what cards in the tarot speak to me about healing in Taurus, okay? And so I would say that there are 2 Taurian cards in the tarot, okay? And I'm going to put them both up here now so you can see. So if you see, okay, all right, let's just start with this one. So you can see here, this is the sign for Taurus. And again, this probably isn't the best chart for a beginner because it's not going to show you that sign. Usually you'll see a sign here that looks like this one here, Taurus, the ball in the top left corner. You would normally see it in your chart here as well, where it says Taurus, so you would know where to put it. Okay, so there we go. That means my wounded healer is the high priest. That is what faith is called in this deck. It's the high priest. Okay, my ascendant is Taurus. That means the sign that was rising over the horizon when I was born is Taurus. Okay, so that's the mask that you put onto the world. Like when you come out and you're being born and the sign is rising, it's the mask that comes onto your face, okay, onto your appearance. So there we go. That's another Taurian card. You can see here it's ruled by Venus. And because I know astrology, I know that Taurus is ruled by Venus. So I can appear very much like the Empress, okay? And then the next card is, or the next one here is Gemini, and this is Mars. Okay, and if you have a deck like the Tarot of Dreams, this one, then you'll be able to look through, because you'll see the sign for Gemini somewhere. You'll find it on your information. Unfortunately, I haven't chosen quite the right chart to show that. Okay, all right, that's Jupiter in Gemini, which is the very next one. So she goes here, Jupiter in Gemini. All right, Mars in Gemini is the 9 of Swords. So you can tell because there's the symbols up there in the top left and top right. This is Mars in the top left, and this is Gemini in the top right. Okay, all right, so I need to make these a little bit smaller because this is the other thing with your birth chart. You're going to have your planets, a lot of them around the same area, okay, and that's totally normal. So some of them will be bunched up and some of them will be more spread out, but a lot of them will be bunched up. Okay, and then I have Venus in Cancer. So the joys of doing tech. Let's undo that. Don't overwrite other cards. And other pictures, please. Okay, so Venus in Cancer goes here, right? And then I have the moon in Cancer, which is the Four of Cups. So I have the 2 and the 4 of Cups. Oh, it's really difficult to stop it from overwriting things. So please bear with me. Okay, it's playing right up. Right, let me just get it on the page somehow without it being the background and without it being, okay, one last try. If not, I'll move on to the next one. Go on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. No. Okay, well, the 4 of Cups goes there, moon in Cancer, and then sun in Leo. This was working fine. Like I said, live TV, sun in Leo goes down there, and then the 5 of Wands. Come, 5 of Wands. Come on. Yes, we're getting there. It's because of the being bunched up. It's quite hard. I keep thinking I want it to go somewhere I don't want it to go. Okay, and then 10 of Pentacles is Mercury in Virgo. So you might be listening to this now, those of you that do know your astrology, and go, oh, okay, that's part of me too, if you have Mercury in Virgo. And then you again won't know about these ones here. Pluto, North Node, Uranus, Neptune, and MC are not planets that have been assigned tarot cards, because the astrology associations were done by the Golden Dawn, and that these planets have come since then. It's a bit of an old-fashioned system. So again, the more that you know tarot, the more that you would know what to put here. So you can see again on this card here, there is the sign for Libra here. Yeah, so that helps. So, okay, that's Libra. And also I know the major arcana card for Libra is Justice. So I'm going to put Justice there. And you can see that it's got the Libra sign again on these cards, so that really helps. And then Uranus in Scorpio, well, I know that that's just a very tower-like placement. So I'm going to put the tower there. And then Sagittarius. I know that the major arcana for Sagittarius is Temperance. Woohoo! Typical Temperance. Take up all the space because it's so expansive. There we go. Is she going to behave now? Probably not. Here we go. Thank you, Temperance. Part of being temperate is being patient. And then Capricorn MC is really quite devilish. So I'm going to put the devil. He rules Capricorn. So I'm going to put him there. Okay. And now I'm just going to tell you my story so you can see how these fit. And then I'm going to come back and help you with your questions. Okay, let's just see if I can, one more time, get these cards that weren't fitting to come on board and play games. Thank you, Four of Cups, for behaving. Okay, so you go down here. Thank you. King of Wands, are you going to behave? Wow, I've commanded the King of Wands to behave. That's a moment and a half. Okay, right, so he's the Sun in Leo. Okay. All right, so this is my birth chart in tarot. This is what it looks like in tarot cards. So they say a picture can tell 1,000 words. And if you're one of those people that look at your birth chart and go, what the heck? Then this can really help. Let me explain a little bit for you here. So we don't need that anymore. Let's make that a bit bigger. Maybe I can go into full screen. Not that much bigger, but there we go. So Chiron in Taurus is the priest here, the high priest, and Taurus is my ascendant as well. So my healing energy and my spiritual energy is very much in Taurus, and Taurus, I would say, has a mother wound. I would say a lot of Tauruses I know have things to do with low self-worth and trying to obtain that from the outside, security and things along those lines. So is it any wonder that the actual foundation of my work is to do with self-worth? I don't think so. Yes. Part of that was because of the journey that I have had. Obviously, it's all to do with our journeys, right? From my journey of birth, when I was born, I was pretty much left with my mum, who also had a lot of these problems. And my mum is Gemini. And so my childhood was very much the 9 of Swords and 10 of Swords. Sorry, I was trying to get this to magnify. So you can see this here in Gemini. And it left me very, as I said, in tune to everything around me. There was no boundaries or anything like that. It was one of the reasons why I was incredibly intuitive. And so I would pick up on everything outside me and I would take it personally. I'd feel responsible for it, like I needed to fix it. So that's the 2 of Cups with the 4 of Cups here. And this emotionality absolutely kind of destroyed my life. At the same time as that coming to a head, what also was coming to a head was, or emerging from that, was my business online, which I was treating very much as being a teacher. And it was like this whole cauldron of stuff going on. And what's quite interesting is, we've got the King of Wands here, which is like the father figure. The Sun represents the father or the masculine, and the 5 of Wands, which is Saturn in Leo, and that complete breakdown, that melting pot. And that was very much the story, because my dad wasn't around at all, and I had a very restricted, which Saturn is, a very restricted, I was very restricted in terms of people investing in me. So I had to work out how to do life, and obviously made a lot of mistakes along the way. So I was starting to learn from that and emerge from that, but I was still in the place of teaching. A lot of, maybe you guys, if you're there with your therapies or things, you might be in that space of being a therapist or something like that. I was in the space of being a teacher of the psychic arts. I wasn't in the space of being a leader. And so the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Cups and the 5 of Wands would just keep playing out. And I remember that I'd had so much of an issue with over emotionality and stuff going on that I actually purposely connected with the Queen of Swords. And I was like, that is my archetype, and I am just clearing my space of this stuff now. And it was so profound and life-changing, that moment. I've never actually gone back to being that emotional, because I can see now that that wasn't self-love. In a way, I was retribution for myself, and I was exhausting myself, and I don't deserve to do that to myself anymore. And so I started to rise as the Leo, Sun in Leo, King of Wands, as my own parent, as my own leader, and actually start to make the shift. And some people, when they meet me, say, oh, I just met Justice. I feel like I've just met Justice. And I was born on the 11th of the 8th. And in some tarot decks, she's 8. And in some tarot decks, she's 11. So I do have that part in me, obviously, but I needed to connect with it. We've kind of skipped over the 10 of Pentacles here. I feel like that is emerging and will emerge more and more as I embrace that leadership energy. And the Tower, again, is something I've kind of seen, gone through again and again in my life. It's number 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7, which is the Chariot, which is my birth number. So it is my birth card pairing. But I've learned now about these energies of transformation and how to help people cross over from one to the other. And it's quite interesting that the Devil here is after Temperance, because it's like, what? You help people cross over from the Tower of Destruction to the Devil? That looks like hell. And actually in the tarot, that's exactly the, like, Temperance number 14 and the Devil is number 15. She is the goddess Iris, and she's the only one that can go down to the underworld and come back out again. So she helps you cross over. She helps you transform from the chaos and the drama and your old life and face up to what you need to face up to in order to get out of your cage. If you could see this card closer, you would see that the door, there's a man in a cage, but the door is open. So that's really who I am. That's my story, and that's what I do. I help people come out of the over emotionality and drama and chaos and conflict, and help them see with precision what it is they need to do, because the Devil is all about atonement. It's all about putting the work in. You won't get it without that, but so you can be set free. So it's a big kick-ass. There is, like, the Empress and the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. It is still there. But yeah, that is the picture of my soul. And if you get a tarot deck that has the astrologies in the corner and you print a birth chart out, you will see the sign for Gemini, for instance, and it will actually say, you'll actually see the glyph, it's called, for Gemini. So it's like twins. So it's like that symbol, and you'll be able to match them up, if that makes sense. So I'm going to come back now and see your comments. Okay. She says, hello. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Let's have a look. La, 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 la. No, don't worry, Rowena. You don't have, it wouldn't have been you messing up things on this side. Don't worry about that. Yes, absolutely, Julia. If you had your birth chart done in 2006, so let me just put Julia's comment up. Had a birth chart done in 2006, would it still be useful for this exercise? Yes. If it's your birth chart, it does not change. So it doesn't matter when you got it done. If you got a transit chart, that changes. So those of you that are quite advanced in astrology will probably be thinking now, oh, actually, I could also do this as a transit chart and see what's playing out for me. So if it's a birth chart, then it's a snapshot of where the planets were at the time you were born. That doesn't change. And that is what makes your soul, yes, for this life. It makes your journey. Yeah. Thank you, Julia. I'm laughing at Elise because she's saying, Tiff, can you make a new deck that assigns Pluto, Chiron nodes, and MC? Yes. Thank you. I am actually doing a deck. Let me show you. In this little box, yeah. Oh, the thumb slip for the angry face. I get you, Rose. Thank you. Okay. In this little box is some drawings that I did back in 2012 for my book, The Transformational Truth of Tarot, and they got rejected by the publisher because they said that they were too amateur, and so I shut the book on them. I shut the box on them. I shut them away, like this. And that was in 2012. And then my husband just got them out at the beginning of the year and plonked them in front of me because I kept saying, I want to do art again. I want to do art again. And so I have just been, and not with like, oh, I'm going to do a deck or anything along those lines, but I think it will finally get there. I've been working on them, and just in the evenings, just kind of pottering away, you know, it's just my own little thing that I am doing. And it's obviously first draft, and, you know, it will take a while, but I definitely think there's something in them, and I will definitely do that, Elise, because I won't be releasing them without the astrology in them. So I will actually be putting astrology on them. So yes, absolutely. You might have to wait a couple of years, but there you go. Okay. Thank you for that, Elise. When I do make them, I will assign Pluto, Chiron nodes, MC, IC, etc. Absolutely. I'll look at that. Thank you for that. Indeed. Okay, so Janet says, I recall some of this from the ATR workshop. Would you say there is a specific card for every single astrological combo? I recall that sometimes there was a choice of cards for some placings, but I wonder if it's more specific when studied further. So as I said, there are specific placings for the older planets, and for the newer planets, there aren't specific placings. So then you have like choices. You could use like the court cards, the aces, or the major arcana. Yes, if that makes sense, Janet. I know that you know astrology and tarot, so I feel like you'd be getting me. But this is where a lot of beginners would trip up. So I would also just, you know, not worry if you don't know so much about it. Just match it up and see how it feels, or look at the cards and be intuitive. Like anything with this, it's really, I don't think you can get it wrong. Whatever you end up with, you end up with. Okay. Okay, so Kathleen, hi. Which decks do you recommend, and do chart with tarot? And yes, how much does it cost? So from what I can understand from what you're asking, the one that I use that has the astrology is the Tarot of Dreams. The Rider-Waite is really what I would say you should get. What, you know, if you do any tarot, but it doesn't have the astrology on. There are other decks that have astrology on, but none come to mind other than the Tarot of Dreams. And I don't know what you mean around and do chart with tarot. If yes, what does it cost? Are you saying what do I do with the chart and the tarot? Yes, I can do that for you. It comes with a write-up and it costs 197. If you would like the link, just let me know in the chat box, Kathleen. Okay. All right. So thank you, Anne, for saying they're gorgeous. And Kathleen, thank you. Marina saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm drawing my own deck and to give my two sister copies too. I honestly was just about to ask you about drawing my own deck for me. Oh, bless you. I'm not sure I have the time to draw your deck. Trust your own energy with it. Really, it's about going on TTT. To be honest, TTT unblocks your creativity massively. And so a lot of people have designed decks and written books whilst they've been on that journey. So it's about connecting it with your own energy, isn't it? There you go. Amazing. Ah, thank you, Julia. That's very nice of you to say. Bless Elise, saying she will wait 2 years even more. Awesome. Thank you. Kathleen says, do you do chart? No. I'm not an astrologer, but I blend my astrology knowledge with tarot, but I do all of that to help you tune into yourself and clear blocks like creativity and blocks to communication and knowing who you are and your purpose. And I do that through taking people through a journey. So I do online courses or retreats. I don't really do one-to-one, but at the moment, I am opening my doors to people that want a solstice reflect and reset session. And I'm also opening my doors for you to do this with me too, if you want. So when I open my doors, I do so very specifically. It's like for this specific session. So it's like, if this is the session, do you want it? You can have it. If you want something else, like a chart or a general reading or something like that, then I'm not the person for you. You will need an astrologer or a tarot reader. My stuff is very much about going deep within who you are, so it's very specific, if that makes sense. But you can get a chart. You can just put in online a free birth chart or natal chart. I'm not sure if you started, you came in late, Kathleen, this one. Yeah, I'm not sure if you came in late because I think I answered a lot of this at the beginning. So check out the beginning of the replay. So, okay, Elise says the Thoth has astrology references too. Thank you, Elise. Marina says, that's what I meant, Tiff. Not that yours aren't amazing, but I wanted to know if I do my own, will they work, if you know what I mean? How much do you know about tarot? How much do you know about the symbology and the mythology in the tarot? How much do you know about the associations in the tarot? Because if you don't, then I wouldn't do a tarot deck. I would do an oracle deck. Yes, because that can be anything you want. But the tarot has a very specific structure, and you would need to abide by that structure for it to work. Like it needs a major arcana and minor arcana, so it's made up of 2 decks, and yeah, it has to be 78 cards. I mean, some tarot decks actually do go above 78 cards. Some of them more modern ones, they put a little spin on it. There might be an extra couple of cards or so, but really you have to stay on track with the major arcana and the minor arcana. So it depends. It depends, yeah, how connected you feel to the reason why you're doing it, how connected you feel to the tarot. or because if you're not feeling that connected to the tarot, I would definitely do an oracle deck. But yeah, if you know it and you feel it and you live it and you breathe it, then boom. But I get you. I'm also a little bit like, oh, is mine going to work? But I've kind of, to be honest, I've got past that. I'm just doing it just because of the love of doing it. And it will be what it will be. Yes? Okay. Hi, Kathleen. Yes, absolutely. I will give you the link for the session to do that. Absolutely. Okay. Take care. You've drawn 3, Marina. That's brilliant. Keep going. That's fantastic. All right. That's great. Can't wait to see them either. Take care. And what was I going to say before I go? Next live is Thursday at 3 p.m. I think it's going to be on turning the curse of your intuition into a blessing, because that's the top runner of the poll right now. So if that's still the same by the time I do the work for the class, then that's what it will be. So tune in at 3 p.m. BST next Thursday. Bye for now. Thank you everyone for being here. And I'd love to see your charts. So do post them up if you feel like sharing. Bye for now.